Hi, thanks for tuning in. My name's Stuart, and I'm going to be looking today at romance scams. I'm going to be doing quite a few reaction videos to various romance scams. They're so common in the news, and given how much publicity there's been around romance scams and all the warnings, it absolutely boggles the mind that these are on the increase, that with all the publicity and all the dangers, that people are still sending money to those who don't exist on the hope that they're going to find some kind of love dream. And it's usually with much older people. Let's have a look at this guy anyway. And the headline: I lost 85k to romance scam. Banks must do more. I have to disagree. My own view is I don't think that victims of romance scams should be reimbursed at all. Let's have a look at this guy. His name is Roderick Lodge, and this story goes back to 18th of April 2025. So a widower was tricked into sending £85,000 to a woman who never existed, said banks should do more to protect vulnerable people from scammers. Okay, now look, I mean, if you had £1,000 in your pocket and you went out onto the streets and somebody said to you, give me that £1,000 and I'll double it for you, just meet me here tomorrow, and you gave the £1,000 and they disappeared. The next day you turned up and there was nobody there, and nobody ever appeared there, and you never got your money back, and you went to the police or you went somewhere else, you would have absolutely zero chance of getting your money back. It's your own stupidity for not doing proper checks, for not really asking questions and sort of thinking reasonably. So I don't see why, if we're talking about technology like bank transfers and social media, meeting people through social media, I mean, really, it's just a virtual way of giving money away out of your pocket, isn't it? So why should people be protected? Why should they be reimbursed if they're willingly sending money to people they've never met? Let's have a look at some more of this story and just find out how it happened. So I understand, because obviously I've read the article, that Mr. Roderick Lodge lost his wife. He's 69 years old. Obviously, you have to sympathise on a human level. It's not a good thing being bereaved, particularly when you've spent your whole life with somebody, or at least your whole adult life, and then you lose them, find yourself on your own. And maybe, particularly if you're in advanced years, you think, I'm never going to meet anybody ever again. And let's face it, most of us never do meet anybody ever again, particularly if we're really in advanced age. But we either just accept it and get on with our lives, or we live out some kind of fantasy reality that we're going to actually meet somebody really beautiful and live happily for the rest of our lives. I mean, let's have a look at Mr. Lodge. I mean, that's what he looks like, right? Now, I see somebody like that maybe meeting a woman, if he's going to get married again, meeting somebody at best in mid-60s, little old lady type, mid-60s, 70, 75 years old. He's not going to meet anybody with any sex appeal, particularly not a young woman. But yet we see time and time again old men thinking that they're going to meet a young woman in her 30s, and everything's going to be absolutely fantastic. They don't really think critically about this. Why would a young woman want to marry an old man unless he was exceptionally rich, which obviously this gentleman just is not. So yeah, I mean, he lost £85,000. We've seen people losing a lot more than that, but if that's all you've got, then obviously it's a lot of money to you, and it's not a bad sum to have tucked away as life savings. Going into old age, it would mean that you could live fairly comfortably. So let's have a look. Yeah, he began to send money. He met somebody in Kenya while he was there, a friend who put him in touch with this woman, Anita. So this is the thing. He'd been out to Kenya. He'd done some work out there. He'd met somebody and been put in touch with this so-called woman, Anita. So that gave some credibility, that lent some credibility. But who did he meet exactly when he was out in Kenya that put him onto Anita? Possibly part of this scam network but because he'd met somebody in person, that was like a recommendation. It lent some credibility to what he thought was a woman that he was communicating with. Even so, I have to say for myself, I would never send money to anybody, no matter where the recommendation came from. I mean, if my own son put me in touch with a woman who said, "Dad, this is a woman for you. You know, you're 61 years old now. I've found the woman for you. Here's her details. I've met her. She's real. She's absolutely kosher. Here she is. I absolutely 100% guarantee that you can trust this woman." Oh no, 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 no. I don't care where the recommendation comes from, even my own son. When it comes to sending money to people, I don't trust anybody. Because I'm the one, it's my money, I'm the one that's sending it away. I don't trust anybody, regardless of whether, when it comes to sending money, oh yeah, if it comes to just communicating with somebody, then that's fine. And can have a back and forth, and oh yeah, I'll see you next time I'm in holiday there. That's fine. But as soon as the requests for money start coming in, that's where I draw a line. So let's see what happened to him. Yeah, so the idea was he met this woman, Anita, through this contact, communicated with her, and the idea was that he was going to go to Kenya and they were going to set up a home together. And this £85,000, he started sending her money. She started requesting money, saying, "Look, you send me money and I'll buy somewhere for us out in Kenya. I'll make a nice home, so when you come out here, we can move straight into it." Sounds fantastic, doesn't it? And there's no photograph of this person in this article, but I can almost guarantee you it's probably a black woman with a really good figure, looking young, you know, looking maybe, say, mid-30s or something like that. Probably not younger than that, because even somebody this stupid wouldn't believe that a woman in her early 20s would be interested in him. But he might think that maybe a woman who's in her mid-30s and her story is she's divorced, she's got a couple of kids who've now grown up, and yeah, she's trying to start again, to pick up the pieces, and is looking for somebody to spend the rest of her life with. Yeah, I can see him falling for a story like that, but he wouldn't be so stupid. He wouldn't be that stupid to fall for a story that, yeah, it's a young girl in her late teens or early 20s. So they would make it plausible, but I can almost guarantee you, yeah, that she would be looking nice, have a nice figure, look young for her age. A real honey trap, and he fell for it like a fool that he is. So yeah, this Mr. Lodge, he started sending her money, and then when he got out there, of course, there was nobody there waiting for him at the airport. There was no trace of this Anita. You know, there was no money left. And the trail to Anita just went completely cold. Now, he went to the bank, tried to get his money back. The bank said no, because they said they'd provided him with many, many warnings. They'd provided him with warnings every time he tried to do the transfer. And if you've transferred money, as I have in the last, say, 6 months, maybe you'll have noticed they asked not once, they asked twice. I've been transferring money to actually, you know, reputable organizations, and I've been asked, say, twice, "Are you sure that this is, you know this person? Are you sure this is not a scam? Be careful when transferring money because we can't get it back." You know, so I've usually asked twice before you click the send button. Are you absolutely sure? That's what they do now. They've done this because the government have forced them to put into practice regulations that if they don't provide these warnings, if demonstrably they don't provide these warnings when people are doing transfers, then you can come back to them and say, "Hey, you didn't warn me, I want my money back." So because of that, banks have been doubling and tripling their efforts to warn people not to fall for these scams. But despite that, and despite him being warned, "Oh no, I know best, this person's real, it came through a contact, everything will be fine. No, you can't have your money back. Tough, too bad." Now, personally, I'm not in favor of people having their money back at all, even if they haven't had proper warnings. If they're stupid enough to send money to people that they don't even know, like this guy here, then I don't think that they should have their money back. Apart from anything else, if the bank is paying money back to these people, where's it going to come from? It's going to come from increased bank charges, increased interest charges for the rest of us who are sensible. So, okay, we've had a look at this case, and I've got no sympathy for him whatsoever. Honestly, I really haven't. If people want to be stupid and send their money away without doing proper checks on this fantasy that they're going to live the rest of their lives with a much younger, attractive partner, then what can I say? They almost deserve to be scammed. Okay, you probably think that's too harsh. Well, that's my view, and I'm going to give my view on this video, the middle age experience, and I've got lots more to say about this and other topics. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.